It's craft, baby. Not just grinding.
He's back for one last dance. Magic Mike 3, Magic Mike's Last Dance, opening in limited theaters for some strange reason, but Chrissy's going to describe it.
Wait, I know you. You were a cop, right?
Did you arrest her?
What's your name?
Kim?
Let you off with a warning, right?
I think you should just get that out there in every screen possible as alternative programming to the Super Bowl.
Are you suggesting women don't watch the Super Bowl?
No,
Sexist?
I think get you a girl who can do both.
There
I
you
can
go.
do both, but like I just feel like maybe not everyone wants to watch the Super Bowl, and here you can watch hot, muscular men in a different capacity.
Wearing less.
Right. So yes, Mike Lane is back, and Steven Soderbergh is back directing after having done the first one, but not the second one. And once again, Channing Tatum is Magic Mike, and he has lost his furniture business to the pandemic. All these movies have like this economic element to them. They look like they're going to be all like hot, sexy, raunchy adventures.
Yeah, they're all economic anxiety movies.
It's like the nuts and bolts of what it's like to live in America right now, but through the eyes of a very hot male stripper. Mike is now tending bar at fancy parties. He's at this incredible mansion, this mega mansion in Miami, where Salma Hayek Pinault has this fundraiser going. She finds out who he used to be and asks for a dance. And this scene is spectacular. It is so sexy. It is so thrillingly staged. It's long single takes. But what I almost like as much as the dance itself is the prelude, where you see him walking around the room and like rearranging furniture and like moving a vase and like testing out how strong things are going to be. And then you see how those elements come into play as the actual dance goes along. So to see like how seriously he takes these things and how clever he is kind of fun. So it's craft, baby. Not just grinding. She's so wowed by it. She asks him to come back with her to London for a month to put on a stage show version of what he has just done for her. Women need to experience this. She's in the middle of an ugly, messy divorce from her billionaire mogul husband. And so it's as much of her getting her groove back as it is getting revenge on him. And so he has to go to London and be kind of a fish out of water. And I really dug this. This is getting very mixed reviews, but I really liked it because it sort of splits the difference between the seriousness and the mundane day in and day out of the first Magic Mike and the just wild party, sexy atmosphere of the second one. And it's also got some elements of melancholy to it as Mike reconciled himself with the fact that he's pushing 40 and is not like the dancer that he used to be. He still looks really good. He's still really good at his job. And there are still some fantastic dance numbers. The whole last section after the let's put on a show energy that preceded it is really, really dazzling. There's one number in the rain in particular that is just mind-blowing. So I liked it a lot. I had a good time, but I also like that it's doing something totally different from the first two. And I recognize that it's not going to be pleasing to everyone.
I've had very mixed feelings about this whole series. Like, I like the fact that you're right. It is about economic anxiety. It's not so much just like a flesh parade, but there's something about the structure of the stripping and the dancing in these movies that I find really unsexy. Like Fred Astaire and Sid Charisse dancing to Dancing in the Dark in the Bandwagon is so much about like touch and seduction and the sort of breathless excitement of coming close to like being passionate, which I find super sexy. And I find everything in this movie so mechanical and like jerky hips. And it's like the subtext becomes text. It's all dry humping. And I don't find that hot. I'm sorry, I don't. And so when we're meant to not only find that this is like this revelatory thing for Salma Hayek's character that unlocked her passions, but also that it's like important art by the end, which is sort of what we're being asked to accept by this stage show. It's kind of like, okay, fine. Also, I think the whole economic anxiety thing is undercut by the fact that so much of this movie is this fantasy of like this wealthy woman whisks you up and takes you off to London and hands you the keys to this theater and is like, I believe in your creativity and your vision. Go for it.
But he never forgets who he is.
No,
he never settles into that.
Absolutely. But it's still like, that's what the movie is. And I don't know. I didn't find it all that interesting. And then like at the end when he's putting on the show, and the show is impressive. There's a lot of really impressive dancing that happens here. And I think the people that they've cast in it are all very good at what they do. He talks, he gives the pep talk to the other dancers before they start about friendship. And I'm like, what friendship? We haven't met any of these new dancers. Like in the previous movies, you get like one Zoom call with like Joe Manganiello and
Matt Bomer
and those guys. But like this new crew of like hot Euro, studs, we never, I don't know their names. They never have a conversation. So like, I'm like, what friendship? What floor did that get left on?
Right. There's like tatted, bearded, ginger,
Yes.
That's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hot Asian guy. Exactly. When you did you go to the All Media? I went on Monday night when you were at Ant-Man. I went to Magic Mike.
Well, did they show you the sort of pre-trailer?
No.
Okay, I bought a ticket for this last night. So here's what they show you before the movie.
Okay.
This trailer that kind of reminds you of what happens in the first two movies. I'd forgotten Matthew McConaughey was in the first one. And then a preview of the third one that you're about to watch. And then a whole like little mini ad for the upcoming Magic Mike stage production.
Right. This is partially inspired by that. Yes.
And so part of me kept thinking, this is like an infomercial for this stage show that they want us to go see. Mm-hmm. And so that also kind of took me out of it at times. So
that's cheesy. Yeah.
I haven't been the biggest fan of this franchise in general. And I think this is maybe the least interesting of them just because so much of it is just about like, this rich lady and her thing. And, yes, eventually she has to kind of contend with the strings that are attached to to her wealth. But even that, like, she does, not to spoil anything, but like Mike is the motor that makes all that stuff happen at the end while she's just like washing her hands of it all. And so I felt like that kind of robs that character of some agency and some participation.
Well, she has to make some choices. I always felt like she was in charge of her own destiny. Salma Hayek is a tough chick, and I never felt like she was just like succumbing to anything.
But there's a whole big chunk at the end where she just like quits and he doesn't quit.
Okay.
Don't you think?
I don't really want to say anymore.
Okay, fair enough. I loved Ayub Khan-Din, who was the star of Stephen Frears' Sammy and Rosie Get Laid a million years ago as her butler.
Yeah.
Also for me, the sexiest guy in the movie, but that's just a personal taste.
No, he's very good in it because he has to like indicate to us how much he knows without being conspicuous to them. And he has that line he has to ride. He's very good.
Yes.
I agree. And I thought they had great chemistry with each other. I thought it was really fun and flirty, and that was exciting. And then the dance at the end that is a reflection of their relationship. I want to mention the name of the ballerina is Kylie Shea. Mm-hmm. She's amazing. She's so beautiful and so strong, and they have such fantastic physical chemistry with each other. Like, so that number didn't work for you?
She is a very talented dancer. Channing Tatum is a talented dancer. Mm-hmm. And there are moments in it that are, yes, I think very exciting in the way that they use the rain as to slide around on as kind of an element of the performance is very cool. But once it just gets into the grindy parts, it's like Showgirls. It's like you're watching. Like
it's a bad thing.
Well, I'm just saying that's what you're in for. It's like if you're doing it at the cheetah, it ain't dancing. Like it is just so like. That I don't know, that kind of takes me out of it. I think it's the getting close to it without actually getting there that is much sexier than the just like doing
grinding into each other.
Yeah, that's just. Right. But that is my personal taste.
Okay, what's your number?
I said 6.5.
I'm saying 7.3. I enjoyed this more. Oh, okay. 7.5. Let's say 7.5. Why not? Magic Mike's Last Dance. If it really truly is his last dance, one never knows.
But yeah, so this was greenlit for HBO Max, and then Warner decided, no, we're going to put it in theaters, but we're only going to put it in like half as many theaters as we put XXL in. So I don't know what the strategy here is, but